is up, everybody? Happy holidays, aka Sunday. It is week 3 of the NFL. I am excited. If you're hearing me out there in the YouTube universe, let me know. Let's try to make some money. Gonna be doing the shows most Sundays around 10:30. Today we're going live. And I don't know, if people enjoy the show, I think I'll keep doing it. And if not, I won't. I obviously have shit to do before the games start myself. Got to check the last minute news, but thought I'd do the show, 30 minutes to an hour or so. If you have DFS questions, start sit questions about life, questions about your dating life, really anything, I will answer those questions and help you navigate this thing we call life. While we're doing this, I'm going to be, tinkering with my lineups. I got my season-long teams. What's up, Supreme? Thanks for tuning in, brother. Going to be, I was at a party yesterday. Looks like my internet is struggling a little bit. So let me know if I'm coming in clearly, guys. Gotta have an ASMR coffee. Taking a peek at the FanDuel slate. I'm not playing on FanDuel this year, but I'm thinking about it. What are these tournaments they offer? Do you think it's okay to not have as big of a game stack and more one-offs since there are so many high total games? Yeah, Chance, I think it's always okay to... Well, first off, Chance, I need a little bit more of a clarifying question. Is this for the $20 Millie Maker? Is this for the $50 single entry? I want a little bit more of a clarifying question there as far as what you're building for. But in general, it's always okay to have one-offs because, in a pure theoretical sense, one-offs are the highest ceiling outcome you can have. You would want so the $222 or the $2? Is that 2.22 or 222? $250? So for FanDuel, thanks for letting me know that's FanDuel. Okay, so the $200 entry on FanDuel, which, fuck a chance, I'm going to build one with you right now. On FanDuel, you need the touchdowns, right? So that makes a game stack less appealing, and that makes one-offs more appealing. So, and on FanDuel, the salaries are so, inefficient that you don't need to game stack it. But I mean, the games you would want to game stack to me: Rams, Arizona, Cincinnati Jets, Detroit, Minnesota, maybe a bring back in Miami, maybe a bring back in Indy, maybe a bring back. Yeah, no, not really. So yeah, this is looking like a slate where a bunch of teams could beat up. Like, yes, I know the Bills are missing defensive pieces, but the Bills could just roll the Dolphins, or it could be a shootout. The Ravens could roll New England. The Chiefs will probably roll the Colts. The Bengals could roll the Jets. Arizona could be rolled by the Rams. So yeah, I mean, for FanDuel, you're just trying to capture touchdowns, so one-offs are totally okay. But it's also, ideally you're building a team you like, but it has like one bring back from each game. So like a bring back from Detroit, Minnesota, Kansas City, Indy, something like that. What do you think about the values on the slate? I'm kind of in on Romeo Dubs. That's a good question. I think the clear values are Romeo Dubs emerged as a value with Sammy Watkins going on IR and Christian Watson looking unlikely to play and Randall Cobb having an illness. The other values that stick out are Ben Skornek for the Rams. He's getting a ton of work. Arizona's letting up a ton of passing yards. All of the Bucs wide receivers that are going to play are going to be values, the cheaper ones. So primarily Perryman and Scotty Miller to me. And then Mac Hollins of the Raiders with Hunter Renfrow ruled out. He's like 3,300 on DraftKings. So I built some Mac Hollins teams. And then if Josh Jacobs isn't going to play, again, I was partying yesterday, so I need to catch up on this. But if he doesn't play, then those, let's see, latest Schefter bomb. From the Schefter tweet, my guess is he plays. But he sticks out as value. And then if we're talking DraftKings, the tight ends are value. So like Irv Smith, Logan Thomas, and then, of course, the defenses. What do you think about Scotty Miller versus Dubs versus Mac Hollins on DK in a 200-person high-stakes GPP? Well, I think Dubs and Scotty are the same salary, and Mac is cheaper. So if Mac allows you to get a better player, I'm probably on the Mac side. But, I kind of like Skornek's chance to find the end zone this week. So I would add him in the, because this Bucs Green Bay game, I know Dubs is like the only guy out there, and I like Dobbs. I got a lot of him in best ball. But this could just be a really ugly game, this Green Bay Bucs game. Let me look up the latest weather reports. I know one of the games is looking to be gross. This, make sure I'm on the right slate here. Yeah, this Texans-Bears game, it's looking pretty fine. Let me make sure I'm looking up the right weather website. That game's going to Houston, Chicago, 15 to 20 miles per hour sustained winds, gust of 25 to 30. Both those teams are just going to run the rock. So the running back values, I would also add the guy from the Texans. Sorry, guys. Dameon Pierce. How do you feel about Mostert this week? 4,500 opens a lot. I would try to find the extra 1,000 to get up to the Miles Sanders type tier. I understand that 4,500 opens a lot, and I would play Mostert in the $20 Millie Maker where you just need to run pure as hell and you're facing 240,000 entries on DK, but I don't love Mostert against the Bills. The Bills D is just, again, pretty nasty, and the Dolphins O-line is nothing to write home about. And I'm pretty sure Armstead of the Dolphins is a game-time decision, so let me look that up. I know the Bills are going to be without both their safeties. Just got the phone. Looks like Armstead's expected to play. Thoughts on A-Rob? Yeah, I mean, he's a totally low-owned piece that is viable. I'm not going there myself, but he is in play, He's facing a terrible Arizona pass defense who is being eviscerated by offenses. So I do like the Rams to score a lot of points, How do you feel about Pittman this week? Totally viable in a bringback. The question is, how healthy is he? If he is healthy, he's like a smash. If he's limited a little bit, then, that's a question. And that's how I feel about a couple players. Like Gabriel Davis, really like Gabriel Davis if he's fully healthy. If he's limited, That's tough. And, I'm seeing multiple reports there. Yeah, but Chris, here's the thing about the Bills D-line is their first, second, and third string, so like 12 deep, are like first-round talent players. So it's not a drop-off in talent to be down these two DTs at all. And the most important Bills D linemen are Von Miller, who's healthy, and Greg Rousseau, who's healthy. Those are the guys who really matter. And then I think Ed Oliver got ruled out. And like this is an important game to the Bills, but they can they don't need to win this game. Yeah, I mean, it just makes me like the Bills offense more if the Dolphins can move the ball a little bit more. I still like the Bills defense. I think they're out Ed Oliver. I think they're out Phillips too, who he is a pass rushing D tackle. So I think what they'll do is my guess for the Bills D line, or what would be smart, is they're going to move Greg Rousseau, who anyone who watched that Titans game, he's a D end, but he can play inside. And he's just so fucking long, right? So he's like really long. So these guards struggle with him. And they're going to put him inside next to Vaughn, I think. And then they will put AJ Epinesa, who was like trending towards bust, was looking much better. He'll slot into the outside guy. And then they'll just play, the run, Daquan Jones, the run stuffing D tackle inside. So that will be, they're essentially going to have three defensive ends on the field at the same time. It's just Greg Rousseau's playing the middle, and he's a load. He is an absolute load. So him next to Von Miller is pretty terrifying. Will Buffalo Miami shoot out? I still think Buffalo is going to roll the Dolphins. Yeah, Boogie Basham, very good too, right? Like second round pick by the Bills. Last year, who is good, right? Like he wasn't seeing the field. He's going to get a chance this week, and he's a good player. He's just not as good as Ed Oliver or whatnot. So the real question here, Eric, is what does this Bills D look like? The Bills coaching staff has historically plug and played defensive backs. They're one of the best coaching staffs at drafting, signing, identifying defensive back talent. So I know that they're going to be without their top two safeties, but they have good players. Or I think Jordan Poyer's ruled out. They have good players backing them up, like players who could become stars. Yeah, I don't think Poyer's going to play either. So it is kind of scary that we're without our two safeties when we have inexperienced corners. But I'm kind of fading the Dolphins side. And the Bills play zone, so whichever wide receiver you think is a zone beater of the Dolphins is the guy I would want, because their pass rush is still going to get home. It's not like Tua's going to have 5 seconds in the pocket, right? It's like, quick passes. It's not going to be the Dolphins-Ravens game at all, even without their safeties. I don't see it being that disastrous for the Bills. So this is a question of CD or Christian Kirk. This is a question of what do you need? If you need the upside, like if the person you're facing, I'm assuming this is a season-long question. If it's a season-long matchup and the person you're facing has a better team than you, I would say Christian Kirk is the higher upside play. But we typically do not want to be targeting slot wide receivers against the Chargers. They have one of the best slot cornerbacks in the league. They're without Justin Herbert, maybe. So I don't know how that changes things. And Christian Kirk does not strictly play the slot. Usually you like your wide receivers to get slot snaps because it gets them the ball more. But if they just play Christian on the outside, well, that's fine. And I like Christian Kirk a lot, but I'm inclined to say CD if you just need the points. But Kirk has the better quarterback right now. So if you need the upside, I would go with Kirk. This is wrong, AJ. The Bills have elite cover linebackers. Two of the best actually in the league. Tremaine Edmonds is very rangy, very long, and Matt Milano is legitimately one of the best cover linebackers in the league. And so, yes, their defensive backs are inexperienced, but their scheme is they're going to play zone. They're going to keep things in front of them. So if the Dolphins wide receivers get there, the only way they get there is they're going to catch a ball in front of them and people are going to miss tackles. But Edmonds and Milano, again, two of the best pass coverage linebackers in the league. They should really help with their zone D. Yeah, man, the Herbert question is, I got a Herbert main event team that I got to, let me see here. I have to choose, am I playing Justin Herbert or am I playing Matt Ryan in the 1 o'clock game? So I could eat a 0 if he doesn't play in the 4 o'clock game. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'll make that decision after I end today's show. You think the Vikings will get right today? I've been considering Kirk Cousins for cheap. Kirk Cousins is chalk. He's going to be one of the most popular quarterbacks on the slate facing that Lions defense. I like the Lions to win that game. I didn't watch much of that game Monday night, but the Eagles defense is legit. So Kirk struggling against the Eagles D does not concern me too much. I don't really think the Lions have the corners to do what the Eagles did. They have two good corners because they got Bradbury from the Giants too. So, yeah, I think the Vikings will move the ball. If I played some players from that game, Cook is fine. He's getting elite usage still, so the games will come. Obviously, Jefferson is fine, and then Irv Smith is interesting. And then, Adam Thielen, low owned, could get there. Yeah, Jacob, this sounds a little overthinking to me, but it really depends. Like, are you facing the guy who's playing A.J. Brown? I need some context with your question. Is this a home league question? But if it's a home league, I almost always roll with my stars. So for me, that would mean I'm playing Kirk and Sutton, matchup agnostic. Definitely playing Sutton. Like, no question. He's getting a bunch of deep targets. Judy's questionable. I like the Broncos to score some points in that game. Finally get some shit right. Yeah, I mean, for the home league, I almost always roll with the stars. It also depends, like, PPR and whatnot. Like, obviously, Kirk's better for PPR. Yeah, man, J.K. Dobbins, I'm considering benching A.J. Dillon for J.K. Dobbins in one home league there. My take is that I think Dobbins has the higher ceiling than Dillon this week because Dillon's playing like the Bucks D, who is one of the best run Ds in the league. But I don't know, man. I kind of want to wait and see it, but so does the field, So if you are confident that, hey, the Ravens, they want to establish it, JK's back, go ahead. But, it kind of makes sense from their point of view to, ease them back slowly. Or maybe they're spooked that they lost that game and they really want to get a run game going because their other running backs suck. They're also without their left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the league, Ronnie, whatever his name is, Ronnie Staley or something like that. Guys, drop your favorite low-owned players for DraftKings Millie Maker. And I'll say some of mine. I think like MBS is a low-owned guy who's going to be leverage off of Kelsey, DJ Chark, and Josh Reynolds for the Lions. The Vikings get beat deep a lot. They also play zone, though, which makes me want, just to eat the chalk in a Monra. Slots, wide receivers typically do good against zone defenses. Some other lone guys, like almost every tight end that's not chalk is leverage. Yeah, but what does that look like, Corey? Is dicing up the Ravens secondary to Mac Jones like 250 yards passing? You know what I mean? Yeah, man, I definitely think a Burrow Chase T double is viable every single week, but especially against the Jets. Definitely think the Jets versus Bengals could be a low-key shootout. Yeah, man, I like the Noah Gray dart. He's running a lot of routes. He's like kind of like more of a blocker, but look, man, Conklin's getting a ton of targets, so totally a piece that you could bring back against a Burrow double. Yeah, I think this is a good game to pivot off of the chalkier Bills stack, Detroit, Minnesota stack. I'm a Bills fan, so I think I'm going to roll with the Bills in my main teams this week. And again, if the Bills defense is struggling, well, then that means the offense needs to do more. Yeah, I love Logan Thomas. I also like Curtis Samuel a lot. Curtis Samuel and Logan kind of do their damage in the middle of the field. And the Eagles, by design, give up targets there. Thanks, guys, for tuning in for this. Let's try to bank some goddamn GPPs or get some home league wins or really whatever we're doing out here, Win or lose, I'm excited to watch some football. Hopefully win, though. I definitely have played some Patriots wide receivers and GPPs this week, though. Yeah, and there's just so many questionable players on the slate, man. I like Dawson Knox as kind of a lower-owned pivot for the Bills. Another guy, if we think back to last year, Isaiah McKenzie against the Patriots, the Dolphins are running a ton of man defense. And against the Patriots, Isaiah McKenzie, who ran a lot of man defense against the Bills, he diced them up. Like, he is the guy to beat man defense for them. So if Gabriel Davis is questionable, McKenzie could smash. Yeah, I think Knox is a great GPP play. Go for it, man. I don't play on Yahoo. I'm rooting for you, Eric. Maybe I will eventually. Let me look up something real quick. I did a betting show on Wednesday, and I'm just kind of checking out the lines to see how they've moved it all. But we've gotten a ton of news late. Like Josh Jacobs, questionable, and like, what the hell does illness mean, guys? Like, is illness a cold? Is illness diarrhea? Is illness a mental health thing? Is illness a pulled groin? Like, what is illness? Am I right? We need like a private investigator on these teams. Okay. Pulling up the DK Sportsbook. So just running through the top. So the Bills have shrunk in their gap with the defensive rule outs. That makes a lot of sense. They're down to -4.5. But the top over-under games this week are, of course, Chiefs-Colts at 51 total with the Chiefs -5. Bills-Dolphins with a 54 total. Bills -4.5 on the road. Lions-Vikings in the Dome at a 52 total with Vikings -6. I would bet Lions straight up there. Rams, Cardinals, 48.5 with Rams minus 3.5 on the road. And then this Bengals Jets game is 45.5 minus 6. So Eagles Commanders 47.5. But it's really the three big ones are Chiefs, Colts, Bills, Dolphins, and Vikings, Lions. But especially if you're playing on DK, like PPR, you don't care as much about the over-under. David Montgomery is a chalk play for a reason. He's one of the chalk running backs. He's a good play. My contrarian brain typically does not want to play the chalk. So I think good leverage off of the chalk in that game would be to play Dameon Pierce and just say that I think the Texans are going to win and that he does better than Montgomery. Jags Chargers is 42.5, so real low. And Chargers are minus 3.5. I have no idea, man. I need to, once I finish up the show here, probably going to finish up around 11. Typically, I don't know. I think I'll go, depending how much news I need to sort for my lineups, I'll go anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour. But this is a week where a lot is breaking late, so I just need to do some research. I also have 10 main event teams on the FFPC that I got to make sure that I have all starting players in and shit like that. I'd be shocked if he got up to 40%, but I guess why not? He is underpriced. Like the wide receivers on DraftKings that are just not priced correctly in the elite range are A.J. Brown, Amon St. Brown, and Stephon Diggs. Mike Williams, T. Higgins, Kirk, Drake London, Juju Smith-Schuster. There's a bunch of guys that are priced inefficiently. Yeah, I mean, I think the way to get different in Buffalo is just like don't do a bring back. If I did do a bring back, I'm prone to do, I think, Tyreek. Derrick Henry over Breece Hall for your home league or whatever. Yes, I would do Derrick Henry. Yeah, I mean, I think the latest on Herbert, I'm not seeing it fully, but like I think he's gonna get like a pain shot or something. I don't know, man. Maybe it's an Austin Eckler game if Herbert is struggling to throw it deep. Got 10 targets last week against the Chiefs. In general, I think people are not going to play the expensive running backs on DK as much. With this being let me try to get a FanDuel team in. Build one FanDuel team. My first of the year. If I can get it in before this contest fills. It's always interesting to see the price discrepancies on the two sites. Looks like you can just jam good players on FanDuel. All right. See if I have time. I'm like racing the clock to get this team in. All right, guys, unless there's a ton more questions, I think I'm going to wrap this show up in 10 minutes. If you're looking for some more content when I end this stream, you can check out my show I did on Friday with Pat Corain. We talked through the whole slate. Obviously, we didn't have all the news then. Pittman's definitely okay in Kansas City stacks. Yes. Show some love to FanDuel. I work there. Yeah, man, I got it. I mean, it makes sense for me to fire more in FanDuel because, look, I've never won a big contest on DK, but I keep playing there. But I did win Underdog, which is half point PPR. So, you think I would play more on the site that is half point PPR, but hey, good luck to you, Spencer. Let's win some goddamn tourneys. All right, I got one team in the 2-2-2. And of course, we need to enter it in the Millie Maker on FanDuel. $5 price point, pretty good there. I'm not eating that in tournaments, Nez. If I'm playing cash, I think that's a totally different question. But it's fine to eat the chalk in tournaments. You just gotta know what you're doing and add some low-owned guys, right? Like you can eat chalk. It just becomes harder to win when you do eat chalk. That's just how that works. So it's like, what do you win when you're right? And if you and the whole field has a player, well, now it's harder to win. So that's how I think about chalk. And I try to usually, it's fine. If there's like a clear, way too cheap guy, it's fine to eat the chalk at running back. And I'll eat chalk sometimes, right? Like it's not an always thing, but I'm not going to do it for DK tournaments, probably myself. Chalk's real cheap on FanDuel. All right. We got sweat on FanDuel, guys. We did it. Good for us. Mandatory Kendrick Bourne spike week? I don't think so. Kendrick Bourne was not really playing week 1, and then apparently Robert Kraft, the owner, talked to the Patriots and he got more snaps, but he didn't really do anything. I more want to play Parker and Aguilar. Going with Allen, Mahomes, and Burrow for my main 3 lineups. Hoping I do better running back this week. Hey, man, you're going with 3 elite quarterbacks. So, makes sense to me. And I think Burrow and Mahomes will be lower owned. Especially Mahomes. I definitely want Chiefs pieces, even on my non-Mahomes teams. That's fair. I'm doing single entry 1K tournaments and debating it, but so far I'm fading. In single entry, it the good plays are even more chalkier. So in the Millie Maker, if the Bengals D was 40% owned in the Millie Maker, it can become 80% owned in a single entry. Because everyone's playing their favorite lineup, or most of the field is. And that's just how they think about it. We got 2 hours until these games kick off. If you're watching this on replay for some reason, it's probably not that effective for you. But hey, drop in the YouTube comments things you would like me to see, shows you'd like to see, or whatever. My usual NFL content will be Monday nights or Monday. I usually make a showdown video, just kind of running through how to get unique on the slate, some low-owned plays. Wednesday, I do a betting show. Kicked that off last week, my first show of the ever. Just picking games against the spread with my cousin Bert. Thursdays, I do another showdown show for that Thursday night's game. Friday, do a DFS run-through with a rotating guest. Had Pat Crane on last week. Definitely will have him on again. Love to hear his thoughts. And then Sunday mornings, do something like this where, something around the range of 10:30 to 11:30. Today we went a little earlier. Really depends if I go out Saturday night. Wake up a hangover. Maybe I won't do it every day, but maybe I'll push through a hangover one day. We can recharge together. If you're hungover in this chat, let me know. What did you guys do last night? Give me some entertainment before I close out this stream. We got 3 minutes. What'd y'all do last night? Tell me some stories, guys. Come on now. I entertained you for the last 35 minutes. Let me know. I want some entertainment. If you did something fun, if you were a loser, just chilled at home. No, I'm kidding. I do that all the time. Let me know. Also, who is your favorite who will be the lowest owned player in the $20 DraftKings Millie Maker? Can't drink on Saturdays on NFL season. Hey, man. Good for you. That's discipline. Good for you, Eric. That's a good, holistic thing to do right there. Come on, guys. Who's it going to be? You got 2 minutes to fire off some hot takes. Fire it off in the sun. And you can say some good players here. You don't need to say someone like Brian Hoyer. He's always my example that I go to. There will be some stars who are low owned. Probably like Taylor McCaffrey. Hey, Spencer, there you go. You charged up. I might fire up the volcano here for the game. Josh Jacobs is active. I need to look up what his illness is, man. I built a Millie Maker team with him. This could be a tilting thing, man, where he's like active and then is on a rotation, or it could just be full go. I drink whiskey and watch the new Jeffrey Dahmer show on Netflix with my wife. Yeah, that it gets weird real early into the series. That does not surprise me. DJ Moore, that's a good call, man. People are going to be off him. And I will too. I think Michael Thomas is a decent play. He's good, man. All right, guys. It is 11. 2 hours until lock. I helped entertain you for 40 minutes today. We'll be back tomorrow for the Giants and Cowboys Monday night showdown game. Good luck with your teams today. My recommendation to you is to build at least one team today with a more expensive running back. Good luck, everyone. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you are enjoying this content. Have a great day. See ya.